Hey guys, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by Ballistic Barbecue. Very recently I received a personal message from one of my subscribers. His name's Carlos. Carlos went on to tell me that right now he's living in an apartment complex, and unfortunately the complex is not allowing the residents to have grills on the property. And he was asking if I would do a couple of videos covering like indoor grilling and stuff. I don't own any of the electric indoor grill tops or anything. I do have a couple cast iron grills that you put on your stovetop, which are pretty cool. But what I thought I would do is show you guys how you can smoke meat in your kitchen. And what I'm going to be doing is making my Jack Daniels and Coke baby back ribs. Going to make the ribs and also the sauce. And I'm going to be using a couple of these guys here, which is cedar planks, and these are Nature's Choice. For those of you who have not discovered Larry at Nature's Choice yet, great guy. I'll put a link to his website down below here. Type in Ballistic 10 on the discount code, he'll give you 10% off. Great product, and they're not just for using outdoors, as you'll soon see. Anyway, let's get started on this cook. First of all, just talk about the ribs really fast. 2 racks baby backs, pork ribs. I went ahead and, before I even turned on the video camera, peeled off the membrane off the back, rubbed a little yellow mustard on the outside, front and back, and then just hit it with a rub. Just use whatever rub you guys like, commercial, homemade, whatever. Let's get on to the next step. Okay, first, really fast, just talk about the wood. Again, cedar from Nature's Choice. This is a 15-inch length, 1/4 inch thick. This fits perfectly in the bottom, 2 of these side by side, in the bottom of the roasting pan I'm going to be using. For the technique that I'm going to be using, I did not soak this in water. It is not going to get enough oxygen to ignite, so I'm not worried about it catching on fire. Let's move on to the next step. Okay, so right now I have the broiler on, and I got the top rack up really, really close to the, this is electric broiler, so the coils here. What I'm going to do first is the smooth side up. Put this right underneath one of these coils here. And close this. Now keep an eye on it. Through the glass window here. And basically what I want to do is get that to where it's starting to char up. Alright, see, this is what I'm looking for. See how it's just getting a little bit black in there, it's kind of starting to smoke a little bit. And that's not only preheating the wood, but it's also, you know, killing any microbes or bacteria that may be living in this wood. Now we're going to take the rough side, do the same, but I'm actually going to let this heat up a little bit more on this side here. It's going to be the side on the bottom, so the meat's not going to be touching this rough portion here. And you know, you may need to turn on a vent fan or something when this is going, because it is smoking a little bit, but once I get the actual process going, you're not going to have to really worry about the smoke. Alright. Now, this side, when you're doing this, you really need to pay close attention to it. You can see it's pretty blackened here. I mean, close. If I would let it go any further, it probably could have caught on fire. So you need to be aware of that. We're going to move on to the next step now, which is when it starts getting pretty cool. All right, so as you can see, standard roasting pan, and I've got it on top of 2 burners. Put the lid in, side by side. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and set the oven for 275 degrees. Put these burners on high. Get the ribs in here. See it smoking? Now what I'm going to do is get this foil on here and make sure it's sealed very, very well. This way there's not going to be enough oxygen to cause an ignition. It's not going to burn, it's just going to smolder. Okay, so it took less than 5 minutes. You can hear it crackling in there now. We've got good smoke. I'm going to go ahead and get it in the oven, 275 degrees. Okay, now, again, I cannot emphasize how important it is to get that foil sealed really, really good around that roasting pan. I've got the ribs on the middle rack in the pan in my oven right now, 275 degrees, and I'm going to leave them alone. I'm not even going to look at them for 2 hours. So until then, let's go ahead and get going on that Jack Daniel's sauce. All right, guys, and now for the sauce. What I have here in this pot is 1.5 cups of Jack Daniel's Old No. 7. Got about 2 pinches of, well, 2 teaspoons we'll call it, of mustard seed, whole mustard seed. Same amount of coriander seed, 2 teaspoons. I have 1 bay leaf in here that I crushed up. About 2 teaspoons of celery seed. Now, not the celery salt, but celery seed. A couple pinches of kosher salt. Gonna hit it with some crushed black pepper. It's almost fully reduced now. I wanted to get this down by half. So reduce it by half, and it's getting really close. So let's get on to the next step of the sauce. All right, what I'm going to do is add 1.5 cups of ketchup. I don't know if I mentioned it. There's also a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar, and I may have, but I'm getting old. So 1.5 cups of just regular old tomato ketchup. This is agave nectar, and it's the darker agave nectar. So what I'm going to do is just stir this really good. Make sure it's fully incorporated into this liquid. And then I'm just going to let it go. Let it simmer and reduce and thicken up, and it's going to turn into a beautiful, beautiful barbecue sauce. So see you in a bit. All right, guys, so the ribs have been in the oven now for 2 hours at 275. I haven't even opened the door to take a peek, but I'll tell you what, the whole house smells killer. It smells really, really good. We're ready now to move on to the next step. Gonna pump a few more flavors into this recipe, and let's get going. All right, just so you guys know, the house smells killer right now. I mean, you can smell the cedar smoke lightly. Doesn't smell like smoky in the house, and then that just awesome pork smell. So let's get a look at these. Wow. All right, look at these guys. I mean, beautiful, beautiful color. We're ready to move on to, I'm going to foil these just for a little bit. They're pretty tender right now, but I want to get a little bit of more flavor, including the Coca-Cola in there. So, show you what I'm going to do. All right, so rack a rib on the foil here. I'm going to go with this side first. In the sifter, I've got just brown sugar. I went ahead and put this brown sugar in the oven at 250 and just dehydrated a little bit. A little bit of that. Just Coca-Cola at room temperature. I'm not going to put a lot on this, just enough to where you can see the sugar just starting to kind of soak it up a little bit. Okay, same thing on this side. And I'm just drizzling this Coke on here. I'm not flooding it. You can see it just sort of wicking up this Coke. We're just kind of building a layer of flavors here. All right. So I'm going to do this to the other rack of ribs, and then we'll get them back in the oven. Okay, so transferred the ribs to the middle of the rack. I've got the tray with the wood on it at the bottom rack below the ribs. I want to keep the wood warm because I will be using it again for the finishing process. I also want to catch any drips that in case of foil leaks. Just so you know, I've bumped the temperature up in the oven to 300 degrees, and I'll be checking the ribs in about 20 minutes. What I'm really checking for at that point is just tenderness. I want to wait until they get to where I want them. All right, so it turned out they were in the oven in foil 30 minutes. They're at the tenderness that I like. What I'm going to do now is, here's that Jack Daniel's sauce I made. I'm going to baste these things front and back. After I get these things, oh look at that beautiful glaze, gosh. So after I get these things glazed, then we're moving on to the very final process. As you can see, they're back in the pan on top of this wood. Pan and the wood still very hot, and it's still releasing a lot of the nice aromatics from the wood. I'm going to put it back in the oven on that middle rack, 300 degrees uncovered, and I'm just going to bake it to kind of set the sauce. So really what I'm looking at, I mean, I could eat these right now if I wanted to. I just want to make sure that the, I get a nice kind of a caramely, bubbly sauce on here. So I'm going to finish coating these things. I'll throw them in the oven. I'll be seeing you guys when these are completely done. All right, guys, so here's what they look like. About 15 minutes or so underneath the in the oven. Again, I just let the sauce start to bubble. Then I pulled them out. I'm going to go ahead and let these rest just a few minutes, and then we'll get them cut up and give them a try. All right, here we go. Beautiful, beautiful smell of smoke. Let's give these a try. Very, very good. Now you're not going to get that pronounced smoke ring that you'd expect to get, when you're actually using a pit. But man, a really nice smoky flavor. It's not too heavy. It's that nice sweet. Cedar just really complements pork. If you don't want to put barbecue sauce on it, don't. I mean, that's just my personal preference, and this is the flavors I love. I love sauces with Jack Daniel's in it. As Grilling Network can attest to, I've used alcohol a lot of my glazes. Anyway, perfect technique for folks that can't grill for whatever reason. They can't have the equipment at their apartment complex, or for folks that are snowbound right now. You got the grills packed up because of the winter time. Give this a shot. Like I said, check out Nature's Choice, and thanks again, guys. I'll see you on the next video.